Hey everyone, thanks for trying to learn to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a second video showcasing the miniatures of the Thinning Veil. So these are going to be more focused on a lot more of the enemies that are included in the game, and let me know in the comments down below what else you want to see around this one. I'd love to start a conversation. I am planning on doing one additional video showing off the big, massive enemies as well, and some of the end bosses and stuff, so stay tuned for that one, and I'll also have potentially another surprise video coming your way shortly on this one as well. So what is this game? So The Thinning Veil is from Triskelion Games. It is a 1 to 4 player game that takes roughly 1 to 2 hours to play and is a fully cooperative game where the players are working together to complete whichever mission, scenario, or adventure they've chosen to go on. As there's going to be a number of different ways you can play this one, including a solo mode. So for those of you out there that are looking for a great solo experience, this is also one that you might want to check out. So, as always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel. It's one of these ways you can support channels like mine so we can continue to grow, be able to produce this content. If you want to stay up to date on all my videos, also give that notification bell a ring, and that'll let you know whenever I drop some new videos, including additional videos for The Thinning Veil. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see what these cool little minis are all about. The Shambling Corpse is a kind of mindless undead, a soul in torment, trapped in its dead body, often against its will due to supernatural means. They are slow and cumbersome, with an awkward gait, usually caused by some wound suffered on the battlefield, or because of some other physical harm which brought about their death. Utterly dominated by the will of the necromancer, unable to think for themselves, and very effective in hordes, the Shambling Corpse is a terrible threat. In truth, never underestimates these witless enemies. Their weighty dead limbs can deliver quite a blow, leaving you stunned. The mob of these shambling corpses can hinder your progress or even drag you down and tear you limb from limb. Then there are the ones that they say have a bite which carries contagion, and the kind that eats brains. The geist-bound skeleton is a long dead and decayed remnant, often of a fallen warrior. The soul is entrapped in the vessel and screaming for release, as it is torn from the land of the dead and forced back into whatever is left of its former body. Sometimes the entity is trapped within is not inside its original host, and that is when these enemies are most unpredictable and dangerous. Controlled by a magical rite, lost in madness and yet paternally silent, denied speech even if they did not lack the capacity through decay, and the geist-bound are slaves. The forbidden rites to call these spirits back to the mortal plane are known to some dead cults and necromancers, occultists, and the like. Forcing the souls of the deceased to do your will is a violation of the natural laws, and those that do so show contempt for such. Nonetheless, the practice yields an obedient, if reluctant, servant, and they say some souls come back with a thirst for blood they never possessed in life, or even from the infernal place of fire known as the magma vaults. Most are simply obeying the whims of the practitioner who brought them back, wielding ancient tarnished blades or badly woven bows, often crafted from bone and sinus, and some are a little more explosive. Fallen warriors, disgraced heroes, oath breakers, and oath takers. The Grave Knight's reasons for rising from death to campaign once more are myriad and not always rooted in tragedy. Many are villains powerful enough to break the shackles of death through the force of will, alone or by having their life essence bound to the armor in which they fought. Grave Knights bear the same allegiance, weapons, and regalia that they did in life, though now fused and invigorated by their own profane resurrection. These formidable undead command legions of mindless servants as they once did in life, all too willing to rise from their graves and march at the ancient master's behest once more. A Grave Knight's bound armor is often a relic, a battle-torn and blood-stained testament to the unrelenting will and death-spawned madness these beings possess. The trappings of their life in the mortal plane are often so imbued with dark and eldritch energy that the perverse nature of whatever is preserving them manifests within this very mail. This distorts their armor and turns it into a monstrous second skin over the husk of their suppurating flesh and pot-marked bone cage within. The sacrificed right geist is another kind of zombie, but one that has been altered through ritual magic. Scarifications in its flesh granted greater mobility and a semblance of memory from its previous life, or some other aspect of what it once was. This makes the sacrificed Rightgeist faster and more dangerous than the shambling corpses, as the sigils in its flesh glow with arcane energy. This energy imbues the sacrificed with a greater enervation, and it harnesses to invigorate itself and obey the commands of its creator with greater verve and tenacity. The sacrificed Rightgeists were mighty warriors and champions in life, and some of them have not forgotten their tricks and skill at arms. The Fomorian Shanker is a cunning servant of Belor Evil Eye, the abhorrent king, and form a lower class of warriors of the deep sea dwelling race. These hideous malformed humanoids speak in hissing or guttural tones, often communicating with cultists who have made pacts with Belor or pledged themselves to the Fomorian gods in exchange for favor. The Shanker are often intermediaries between the Fomorians and the Order of Indulch. The Shanker are Lilith, agile, fast, and vicious. They use bone sabers and serrated knives, fashioned from long-dead things beneath the sea. They hunger for flesh and possess rending teeth like piranha. They love nothing more than to take out their frustrations on the weak and the vulnerable. They know if they impress their masters or their gods well enough, they may be granted ascension, transmogrifying into powerful foramen abhorrent and becoming marked by destiny. This is the fate in which all Shankers aspire, wicked, utterly evil, and bent on pleasing their dark masters. None know in truth what a skin stole is. There are stories when the decomposed flesh of undead peels from bone and drops away in desiccated ribbons, the skin stole picks it up and sews it together with magic, and makes a body for itself. If this is true, it is fond of utilizing teeth from the most predatory of creatures, and using way more than it should. Appearing like a glistening alabaster sheet of human flesh, a gliding monoray of undeath, the skin stole slithers through the air like a serpent does the ground, but it moves fast, as the fastest snake. When it wants to strike, it can twist itself around corners, corkscrew through the tightest of spaces, get through paper-thin cracks as it becomes a glycerol sheet of skin and can reform at will. Sometimes it might rise up and unknot itself, a bald human head with no eyes, just black holes. This gives cause to think it might be a demon of the primordial darkness, unbound from that place, harnessing the human flesh for form. When it attacks, it wraps itself around its intended victims, thrashing against solid surfaces while it grips tight, breaking the bones of the misbegotten and entrapped within. It can also pierce and stab into the struggling captives with teeth which line the inside of the skin stole, or the underside when it is gliding. Then it vampirically drains blood from its prey, which it uses to regenerate and revigorate itself to greater feats of abhorrent destruction. These Celts may still seek adventure and the challenge, but they may not be looking for greatness. They seek only to serve the winning side, and often could switch their alliance in a conflict. And some of them can even be bribed to look the other way. Coin is their god, and they think of little else. The wheels don't turn in their chariot without pay. Often single but simple-minded, these men don't think too deeply about anything, and serve only their own whims and ends. They never care for those they betray, kill, or help tear down. It's all about the money. A far cry from the hero and the heroic path of other Celt warriors pursue. Those who have retained their moral center and seek honor in life and in battle as principle above all else. Well, I hope you found this video helpful in deciding whether or not this might be one that you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them, or swing by the Kickstarter's page and drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure the creators would love to hear from you and are more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.